If your bathroom counter looks like a Sephora threw up all over it, this video is for you. Everything you've been taught about hair care is completely wrong, and it's not your fault. Big Hair Care has spent billions of dollars convincing you to buy this product or that product. But that's actually not how hair works. Single products are just partial solutions. There's no single product for healthy hair, just like there's no single product for growing long hair. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to craft your own hair product cocktails so you know exactly which products you should use. One of the biggest reasons my clients struggle is because they're thinking about hair in the wrong order. Before asking which products you should use, you should first ask, what results do I want? Results come from what I call cocktails. There's a cocktail for healthy hair, a cocktail for volume, one for repairing damaged hair, hair growth, sleek, shiny hair, almost anything you'd want.
It's a full bar, folks.
These cocktails tell you the exact combination of products your hair needs to get the result. So if you know the result that you want for your hair, the cocktail will tell you exactly which products you need. Let's go through one real quick. I have a client that we'll call Samantha. She goes, I want full, healthy hair with volume, but no matter what I do, I just can't get it. She tried the viral hair products from Instagram, none of them works. She tried her friends' recommendations, none of them worked either. So now she had this huge hair graveyard of 20 products around her sink, and none of them worked. So I showed her the cocktails. She wanted healthy, volumized hair, so we picked the health cocktail for health and the volume cocktail for volume. Super straightforward. As you can see, there's 3 products in the health cocktail and 2 in the volume one. Let me show you how we combine these to get healthy, volumized hair. Let's start with shampoo and conditioner because that's the first product in the health cocktail. Shampoo and conditioner are trickier than you may think though. Tons of my clients spend decades believing they're using a good shampoo and that they know how to wash. But in over a decade at my salon, I've yet to have a single client come through the doors that didn't get a major improvement from upgrading their shampoo and learning a couple washing tricks. So please, don't fall into the trap of assuming that you're good here and just moving on as quickly as possible. Product 2 is leave-in conditioner. And before you freak out on me, like, Chris, these are just categories, not actual products. How will I know what to buy? You're absolutely right, and I'm doing this intentionally because one of the major mistakes in hair care is thinking that the same product will work for everyone when it doesn't. But let's get back to leave-in conditioner. This is the game changer that most of my clients have never even heard of. I'm not exaggerating when I say this is the most important product after shampoo and conditioner. Leave-in conditioner creates an invisible protective barrier around each strand of hair that blocks damage before it happens. But on top of that, what makes it so powerful is that protective barrier doesn't just keep bad stuff out, it keeps good stuff in. And here's what I mean. On wash days, your conditioner adds a ton of moisture to your hair and it looks and feels great. But you probably noticed that 12 hours later, your hair has lost all that moisture and now it's looking really dried out. You've probably bought a bunch of products to help with that dryness when really leave-in conditioner is what you're missing. This is in the health cocktail because it makes sure your hair keeps that just conditioned feeling for days. But if you look at this water droplet next to it, that means that it goes on wet hair. So you're gonna use this right after you get out of the shower on towel dried hair so it's not soaking wet. You're just gonna spray leave-in conditioner evenly from your roots to your tips. Now, moving on to the third and final product in the health cocktail, we have hair oil. But you see, it doesn't have a water drop next to it, which means that it goes on dry hair. At this point, Samantha knows the product category she needs, but she doesn't know the specific product to use because that depends on her hair type. To find out, she went to my recommended product list, which you can find in the description, clicked on medium hair, and filled in the products with my recommendations for her medium hair. But remember, Samantha also wanted volume in her hair, and the volume cocktail also has products that go on wet hair. So what we're gonna do is skip this oil for now, put it on pause and skip to the first product in the volume cocktail, which needs to go in when the hair is still wet, which is blow dry cream. This is like having a professional stylist in a bottle. It does three things. It protects your hair from heat damage, helps your style last longer, and improves the texture so you get way less frizz and everything's nice and smooth and shiny. Now, if you're somebody who blow dries your hair and wonders like, hey, why doesn't this look like when my stylist does it? This is probably what you're missing. Application though is key here. You apply a blow dry cream to damp hair before you start blow drying. You're gonna put a pea-sized amount in your palm and then rub your hands together. Next, you're gonna run your hands through your hair, starting at your ends because your ends need the most help. Then slowly work your way up, and by the time that you get all the way to your roots, there should be very little blow dry cream left because that's where the second product in the volume cocktail is gonna come in, which is Root Lifter. Root Lifter's job here is just to get you lots of volume because the blow dry cream already took care of heat protection, already took care of smoothness for you. But the way it lifts your roots is it puts this invisible barrier around them, which thickens them up and forces your hair to go straight up with volume, basically by preventing your hair from going limp and laying flat.
Yeah, like what I said, it lifts your root up.
Again, you see the water droplet next to this, meaning it goes on damp hair. We still haven't started blow drying yet, and the way this goes on is you're gonna pull your hair apart to expose the roots like this. And then you're gonna spray it in there, and you wanna do this like 4 times across the top of your head to get full coverage of the crown of your head. But do not put this on mids and ends. Root Lifter, just for roots. Again, she just looked at my recommended product list and filled in the products for her hair type. All right, so now you can see we've used all the wet hair products, which means that we're ready to blow dry. So we're gonna do that, finish the blow dry, and now we're ready for the final product of the health cocktail, which is hair oil. This hair oil is the finishing touch, but let's get a few things straight first. Hair oil does not grow your hair. That's a scam. It is not something you put all over your hair pre-wash. That's a complete waste. Hair oil is for one thing and one thing only, which is restoring moisture to your hair, especially your ends. You may not have thought about it, but your ends are the oldest, most fragile part of your hair, and they're actually open at the bottom like a frayed rope. So moisture is constantly trying to leak out of them, which is why they dry out on you so easily. But if you're smart and you use hair oil, it actually penetrates the hair shaft, delivering moisture to the core of your hair where it's needed the most. So you can say goodbye to split ends and breakage.
Bye, bye, bye.
But here's the crucial part. Not all hair oils are created equally. Cheap ones, anything under $15 typically, is basically just a cooking oil that you're putting on your hair. They sit on top of it, making it greasy without actually allowing the oil to penetrate inside your hair to protect it. Doesn't do anything. On the other hand, high quality hair oils are usually a blend of lightweight oils and protective silicones. The oil penetrates your hair to add moisture from the inside, and silicones create a smooth, protective barrier on the outside.
But I heard silicones are bad.
If you heard silicones are bad, they can be if you drown your hair in them, but we're only using a tiny bit of hair oil, so it's not a big deal. Now, here's the application technique that separates people who get a little result from people who get a huge result here. Different parts of your hair need different amounts of oil, and it almost looks like a triangle here. Your roots don't need any oil. They're new, healthy hair that doesn't need moisture yet. But as you start to go down to your mids, they need hair oil. And by the time you get to your ends, they need the most oil because, like we said, they're the oldest, most damaged part of your hair. Fine and medium hair will use just a couple of drops like this, and coarse hair will use an entire pump like this. Now, regardless of hair type, you're gonna take that oil, rub it together between your palms and fingers, and then run them through your ends and only your ends at first, because that's where you want most of the oil to go. After half the oil has been absorbed by your ends, you're gonna start moving up and run your hands through your mids to your roots. By doing it this way, most of the oil goes to your ends and the least goes to the top of your mids, none at all on your roots. There's just one thing you need to know about oil. You can't use it once and then skip it for the next 3 days. You have to use it daily to keep your hair from cracking and splitting on you. That means there's 2 times that you need to use it. One, on wash days at the end of your after shower routine, which we're doing here. And the other time is first thing in the morning after you brush your hair. That makes sure that your hair is always gonna stay healthy. So after I showed this to Samantha, her hair became healthier and fuller. She was finally able to easily get volume, and it was way better than what she was doing before.
And yeah, it didn't cost like 20 products on her sink. It was like what?
5 products, just 5 products. Buying random products from Instagram will never get you the result because there's no logic behind it. It's just a waterfall of random products that don't even work together. But with these cocktails, there's actually a strategy behind it. The products work together to make each other stronger, and each product is a perfect match for your hair type, which is what I'm about to show you next. Remember when you were like, I don't need categories, I need specific products. Like, tell me which specific products I should get. And that's gonna be really easy because I actually spent the last decade of my life finding the best products for each of my clients' hair type. I've kept a running list, which I call my recommended product list. It's basically my life's work. All you have to do is look at the cocktail that you wanna make. I recommend starting out with the health cocktail because everyone should be using that, and choose your hair type on my recommended product list, and it'll tell you the exact perfect matches for your hair type. You can do that by clicking the link in the description for my recommended product list, and you'll never have to worry about having healthy hair again. And pro tip here, you don't need to buy all these cocktails. You probably only need like 2, maybe 3. So start out with the health one and then go from there. All right, let me tell you about another client that had huge success with these cocktails that I'll call Pamela. Pamela had shoulder-length hair, but it would never grow out for her because it was weak and breaking off. She had tried rice water, she tried hair oil, and other things to grow her hair out, but none of them worked because they're scams. So I mentioned the cocktail system to her. I point out that there's a repair cocktail to fix all the damage in her hair, and then a length cocktail for her to grow long hair. Now, looking at this, you can see that some of these products repeated from the health cocktail. And believe it or not, all cocktails on this list can be made with just 8 products. And you probably have a lot more than 8 products already, and you're not getting results. These products are the basic building blocks of hair. They aren't some overnight viral sensation that's popular for a week and then people realize that they aren't good. These have all stood the test of time. So we started Pamela with the Repair cocktail, a 2-product combo which has repair treatment and a hair mask. The repair treatment is your heavy hitter when you need something to put your damaged hair back together. Believe it or not, damage is when the protein chains that make up your hair actually break apart, kind of like a rope that's had some of its fibers cut, and it becomes weak and prone to breaking. Bond repair products are actually able to reconnect those broken protein chains. It's an absolute miracle of science. But the way this fits into our cocktail is you are going to use this just once a week on wash days, 10 minutes before you shower. You see the water droplet next to it, which means you're gonna get your hair damp because this will not spread easily on dry hair. Then you're gonna go to your bathroom mirror and make sure to apply it everywhere your hair is damaged. For example, if you have highlights, you may only need to put it on your highlights. After it's fully coated the damage, you're just gonna let it sit and do its thing for 10 minutes. Then after that, you're gonna get in the shower and shampoo normally, but this is where we change it up. Instead of using your conditioner after your shampoo, you're going to use, looking back at our cocktail here, a mask. Masks are better than conditioner here because as the bonds of your hair get put back together by the repair treatment, it tends to be a little dry at first. And conditioners really only work on the outside layer of your hair, which is fine for hair that's already healthy, but for damaged hair, we want a mask because it will put moisture all the way through that outside layer of your hair to moisturize the inside, which really speeds up this repair process. You'll notice a huge difference on the very first wash here, and every time you do this, your hair will get better and better, healthier and healthier. But now, it's time to go back to our length cocktail. The key to getting length is understanding how hair growth works. Your hair is actually always growing. You don't need to speed that up. You don't need to spend time focusing on that. And really, you couldn't even do that much even if you wanted to. The reason your hair isn't getting longer is actually because as it grows out, your ends are breaking off, making it shorter. That's why this length cocktail here isn't some scammy product and snake oil, because none of those work. Instead, the length cocktail adds length by protecting your hair so it doesn't break off, so when your hair grows out, you actually grow length. The leave-in conditioner keeps your mids strong and protects them from breaking, like we said earlier, and the hair oil here protects your ends from splitting and breaking, so you keep all your length. That is the key to hair growth. And if you don't believe me, feel free to buy as many of the scam products, but please come back here when they don't work, because I really actually do want you to get long hair. All right, so healthy hair, check. Volume in the hair, check. Repairing damage, growing long hair, check, check. But next, we need to go over the heat protection cocktail, because this is one everyone needs to have down. Looking at it here, you can see that there's only 2 products in it. Super easy, super protective. The first product is blow dry cream. We already talked about how to use this, and I know a lot of you right now are like, I'm not blow drying, I just want to go straight and put some beach waves in my hair real quick.
Yeah, give me the beach waves.
Not so fast. That's actually a huge mistake. I don't care what kind of heat protection you have. I don't care if aliens came down and gave you some new technology. The first rule of heat styling is you must give your hair 3 days rest before you use heat again. And if you skip blow drying to throw some waves in your hair, it's going to be a tangled mess, and it's going to get frizzy and nasty, fall out really quickly, which means you will have to use heat again before your hair gets 3 days rest, which will cause damage. But if you take a minute to blow dry and get a smooth base first, those waves are going to look 100 times better and last way longer. That's why the blow dry cream is in here. The second product here is a new one for us. It is a thermal protectant. Thermal is your key word, meaning that it's strong enough to protect your hair from the heat of an iron, because irons are twice as hot as blow dryers. And if you think like, oh, my leave-in or my blow dry cream or whatever has heat protection on the label is going to protect you, you are wrong. Only thermals are strong enough for an iron. But here's a huge mistake that my clients make with this. They think that they're gonna need to spray a half a bottle in their hair, so they spray way too much. And then they don't brush it out and they get really confused, like, why did this make my hair so crunchy? I hate heat protectant. The answer is to use this correctly and use way less than you think you're gonna need. Your hair should not be wet from you spraying so much. You only need a fine mist. And please don't forget to brush it out after you put it in your hair before you use the iron, because I cannot tell you how many people email me saying, Chris, this is such a terrible recommendation, when really they're just using way too much and not brushing it through. All right, I cannot wait for you to start using these cocktails and seeing how great the results are. I'm gonna put each one of them in the description. You just grab whichever ones you want, although I highly recommend starting with the health cocktail. Just remember to use my recommended product list to pick the perfect matches for your hair type. There's even a hair type quiz to walk you through everything if you need it. Good luck out there, Rebels. Have a good one.